Hello and welcome. If you live with fibromyalgia, one of the most confusing parts can be those physical sensations that just seem to pop up out of nowhere. So, in this explainer, we're going to shed some light on why that happens, and maybe, more importantly, look at some real, actionable ways to manage them. Let's dive in.
Wow, that quote, it just really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? That sudden, almost bizarre feeling that your body just can't explain. It's startling, and honestly, it can feel incredibly isolating when it happens. So, the very first thing we need to do is just validate this whole experience. Think of this first part of our explainer as a guide, something to hold on to for anyone who's felt like their own body has become this strange, unpredictable place. And this, right here, is the most crucial starting point. I really want you to hear this. These experiences, as weird and alarming as they feel, are a shared part of living with fibromyalgia. You are not making it up, and you are definitely not the only one going through it.
Okay, so now let's get into the why. Because, understanding the actual mechanism behind these sensations, that's the key. That's how we move from a place of fear to a place of strategy. So here's the core idea: sensory amplification. A lot of experts describe fibromyalgia this way. It's not that these feelings are coming from nothing. It's that your nervous system is taking ordinary, everyday signals and interpreting them in a really extraordinary way. I love this analogy. Just picture your nervous system like a radio. For most people, that volume knob is set at a pretty reasonable level. But with fibromyalgia, it's like that knob has been cranked way, way up. So a signal that should be a whisper, like the simple touch of your shirt on your skin, gets amplified into a shout. All right, now that we have a framework for why this happens, let's learn to speak the language the body is using. Just by putting a name to these sensations, we can actually take away some of their power to alarm us. First up is something called allodynia. This is when something that really shouldn't hurt does. The mental image here is perfect. Imagine the feeling of soft cotton suddenly turning into rough sandpaper against your skin. That's how a normally gentle touch can become intensely painful. And then there's that startling electric jolt. It's so fast, so sharp, it feels just like a guitar string being plucked out of nowhere. A sudden sharp vibration of pain that just zaps you. Next is the internal tremor, and this one can be especially unsettling because nobody else can see it. It's a vibration you feel deep inside your body. The best comparison is that feeling of a phone vibrating on silent in your pocket. Just this quiet, persistent internal buzzing. Okay, so we've named them, we've identified them. Now what? What do you actually do when one of these sensations shows up? This next section is all about empowerment. It's your toolkit for that critical first minute. Your absolute first responder is always your breath. When a sensation hits, your body's alarm bells start ringing. This simple breathing rhythm, a slow inhale for 4, a little hold for 2, and a longer exhale for 6, sends a direct message to your nervous system that you are safe. It literally helps turn down that volume knob. Next up, grounding. The whole point here is to pull your brain out of that panic spiral and back into the present moment. You can try really feeling your feet on the floor, or focus on the texture of something in your hand, or even just place a gentle hand over the area. Just spending 90 seconds on one of these can make a world of difference. This is another really smart trick you can play on your nervous system. It's called sensory substitution. If your touch channel is just overloaded and sending pain signals, you can consciously switch to a different sense. Smell something calming like herbal tea. Taste something with a distinct flavor. Listen to a steady, soothing sound. You're giving your brain a different, more pleasant signal to focus on. So those in-the-moment tools are absolutely vital. But we also want to think about the long game, right? This next part is all about the slow, patient, consistent work that can make your whole nervous system less reactive over time. When it comes to building that long-term resilience, it often comes down to 3 key pillars. First, sleep. It is the absolute foundation for a calm nervous system. Second, piecing your activity so you avoid that boom and bust cycle that can trigger flares. And third, finding some kind of daily stress regulation practice that works for you to help keep that volume knob at a lower default setting. Now, beyond the physical stuff, there's a really crucial mental shift. It's about cognitive reframing, and it's moving from fighting a sensation to accepting it. Now listen, acceptance is not giving up, it's actually a strategy.
Instead of wasting energy fighting it, you acknowledge it and choose your response. Okay, this is happening, and I'm going to respond to my body with kindness. So, how do we put all these pieces together? Well, the ultimate goal of understanding and managing these sensations is to reclaim your sense of agency, to feel like you are back in the driver's seat of your own body. Think of this as your go-to action plan, your drill for the next time a sensation arrives. First, name it. Oh, that's an electric jolt. That immediately reduces the alarm. Second, breathe and ground yourself for about 90 seconds. Third, grab a tool from your toolkit, like a cool pack. And finally, just make a quick note of it. This whole process turns a moment of panic into a moment of mindful, deliberate action. And you can keep building that feeling of agency with small, daily rituals. And I mean small, a 5-minute reset in the middle of the day, a quick evening reflection where you write down just 3 things that felt okay, a morning check-in to see how you're feeling and then adjust your day. These little acts remind you again and again that you are an active participant in your own care.
So I want to leave you with this question to carry with you. It totally reframes the entire experience. It's not about trying to prevent every single sensation from ever happening. It's about changing your response when it does. It shifts the entire power dynamic right back to you.
And that's really the bottom line, isn't it? When you have this knowledge, when you have these tools, and you work on building resilience, you transform your role. You are an active, knowledgeable participant in your own health journey. Thanks so much for joining us.